Hello, everybody. How are you doing? So this is my first HPMA live. Um, we just finished. I think last month we had that conference in Dallas. It was a wonderful conference. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kunal Jain, and this HPMA live is going on behalf of Healthcare Business Management Association to hundreds and hundreds of billers around the world. Some of our employees are joining from India. So thank you very much. And today I'm going to have a wonderful guest whom I have an opportunity to know and learn for last 18 years since we jointly started our company Praccticeforces. I took a role as a board member in HPMA last year, which is, I'm really enjoying it. I got to meet a lot of people last month during the conference and make some good connection. So one thing I really want to talk about today is give you a little bit idea what exactly HPMA does, because I know we talk about it every time we give a little pitch, but it is very important for everybody, even those who are members for a long time. And I was reading the board minutes which were shared with me this morning. And one thing which stands out was the HPMA core values. What exactly HPMA stands for. And we have a core values where we value the highest level of professionalism, integrity, and compliant business practices in every aspect of our industry, which is healthcare business management. We used to be called healthcare billing, but now we're called Healthcare Business Management Association. It's a not-for-profit association. We have over 300 billing companies as our members. And this time when I was in Dallas, I think we had almost 265 registered attendees, which includes a lot of our vendors who we really say thanks every time we do these sessions. We are very thankful because they are the ones who are sponsoring our meetings. They are the ones who take an effort to educate us for everything what comes new in healthcare business management world, whether it's technology, it's services, offshore services. So everything, it's a collaborative effort, and between the industry, between the billers, and between the billing companies, owners, practice managers. Our mission is to provide education, advocacy, collaboration, and certification for healthcare billing professionals. So we are a very focused group, and that's a good thing about this group, that we are committed for the medical billing industry, where we engage the business, technology, and we call it a complete healthcare revenue cycle management. So a lot of doctors, a lot of practice managers, they sometimes, they debate what is the difference between billing, coding, and then revenue cycle management. So, it's like this. Revenue cycle management definition is all encompassing everything, which includes charge entry, data entry, claim submissions, statement sending, medical billing, coding, every aspect, payer contracting, provider enrollment, data analysis, compliance, management, everything all compasses. It's called RCM. So this was my pitch for HPMA today. With this, I'm going to invite Praccticeforces CEO, Parul Garg, who has almost 20 years of experience doing medical billing, and she is a certified coder. So here she is. Welcome, Parul Garg. Hi, Parul. How are you doing?
Very good. How are
So this is the
you?
first time we are actually doing this, huh? On a much larger platform. So thank you very much for joining. And you're looking beautiful, absolutely, as usual. So
Thank you
this
for
is the
having me over.
platform. I think you heard about my pitch, what we are committed for healthcare billing management industry, which is a little bit different than what you are committed to. I know you are committed to the success of medical practices. And here, my role is changed as a board member at HPMA. Now I'm committed for the success of HPMA as a brand and what we can give back. We can give back to the industry. We can give back to this noble profession, which is called medical billing, coding business. So what's going on? Anything new? I know a lot of stuff going on in billing world, and I heard the larger picture that physicians always complaining about their reimbursements going down. Um, Tell me a little about your journey, what you did, and what you think about the current environment.
I want to first take the opportunity to thanks HBMA to have me over. As Kunal mentioned, my name is Parul Garg, and I have been in the healthcare billing industry for almost 2 decades now. Can't believe, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here to help physicians and medical practices out, and especially in this journey of COVID, the pandemic era. And Kunal, as you were talking about what's new going on, the question should be what's not new.
Not new. Everything is changed
Everything is
radically.
changing.
Okay.
It's such a
Even
dynamic world.
we can't even cope up with, huh?
Uh, Times have changed. Times
Mhm.
have tremendously changed, and especially with COVID and with everything online, people remotely working, doctors seeing patients remotely. Everything is just changing. I don't think so. There is a deadline for anything. Things just change like whenever, monthly changes, weekly changes, daily changes. Like you get hold of something, and tomorrow that is not there. All these
Yeah.
mergers and acquisitions, I mean, insurance is going away, insurance is merging.
So
uh,
yeah, so when you said that the mergers and acquisition, right? The medical practices are being bought by either larger practices or hospitals.
yeah.
What kind of trend? So tell me some of the examples you have seen in last 2 years, because we are very worried, and as a business owner, we think if our business is losing, we lost few clients, right? And those clients went because somebody else committed them more money or better services, or they were bought out by a corporate group. So share some of that experience. Yeah, that's a good way to start. Let's talk about those, because everybody is worried about losing clients. This is across the board. This is a problem going on. And the entire industry is worried about. What do you have to say about it?
I mean, yes, you are more interested, about the clients as a billing company, but these changes are happening across the boards. I mean, hospital practices are being bought out. In Pinellas County, we have this hospital Bayfront that got bought out by
Even
Orlando
the
Health.
hospital itself bought out by
Even
the
the
corporate.
hospitals are, yeah. So looks like the smaller fishes will go away. It's time for,
That's what you think? The
yes,
single physicians,
yeah. And
small physician
I
groups would eventually be bought
yeah.
out in next few years?
I'm more thinking, I think we are going towards the path of single healthcare system, even with Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
Medicare is trying to, I mean, time will tell. Medicare is through the PCPs, Medicare is working more, eliminating the HMO groups. They are enabling the PCPs to be the HMOs, to work as instead of fee for service, work like capitation, providers, individual provider
So
practices.
most primary care would either go towards technology, or it would be fixed payment system capitation, right? No fee for
Yeah,
service. That's the
yes.
one thing, one very good analogy. The second thing, do you think, what should we as an industry do? What do you think industry should, because we need to survive too, right? What would be our main business? How do you see billing companies' role in next few years?
My take home will be automate.
Automate. Okay. So include technology,
Yes.
make yourself available for bigger fishes, so that you can handle those bigger fishes, and you can also become a part of their growth journey. That's what you're trying to say.
Healthcare, our healthcare industry, mostly billing industry, is all manual work. Still, it's manual work. That's why the big hospital chains, individual offices, they are all dependent on people. And with COVID and the era we are in, people just don't want to work. Not just
Right.
in healthcare, everywhere. Finding manpower is an issue. So
Yeah, that actually reminded me. That's another thing we have been struggling for last almost a year. especially during the pandemic and after that. How's the situation right now? You got some of the employees back, or are you guys working? You have more employees or less? What's the situation? Change in last 3 months?
Things are getting better. Actually, for Florida, things are improving because a lot of people from up north wants to move here. So,
So they
in
are
fact,
finding jobs.
they are finding jobs here. We are finding better people to work from. Good, we are finding good crew of people, not just in Florida. Else, you can hire from elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's again opportunity. Like the first topic we discussed, yes, practices are being sold out. Physicians are retiring early. On the other side, physicians who are with hospital groups are kind of burnt out. So it's opportunity. Same with the health, with the employees. You might not see people in Florida wanting to work, but people outside Florida want
So
to move.
even people who are moving from up north to Florida, and you were able to hire them. And what
Yeah,
about the pay scales? Are they expecting more money, or they are okay working on the Florida wages, or how does it work?
you work it out.
Okay.
I mean, couple dollars here and there. If you have to pay someone with good experience, good, just work your way out.
Do you see a difference in the culture for the people who are coming from, uh, out of Florida? What kind of what do you see? How do you see good, better, ugly? What kind of cultural difference do you see? The way they.
It's good. It's good.
Mhm.
We had an issue, Florida, you don't find much talent, but when you hire people
Really, a
from
lot of people are not going to be happy. A lot of people from Florida are listening this.
it's good. It's
Okay.
good.
Uh, so this is fantastic. Now, what changes specifically? Are there any, like Medicare? You said they are trying to convert all fee for service into capitation, which has been going on for a long time. What do you think is going on at a commercial side with United, Aetna, Cigna? Where are they leading? What radical things you see? 1, 2, 3, like which really you think it's a great shift, and because of that you have to really educate to the physicians or your employees to cope up with.
More and more requests for records. That's
More,
what we are
yeah,
seeing.
yeah, actually, that's, and why is this happening? It's just because they have more people to scan through and to skim through and see if they can create more bottlenecks. They don't want to pay. Is that what's
It's
the goal?
The goal is, I think, I would not say it's bottlenecks. Yes, they spit out, 3 letters. United Healthcare will spit out 3 letters in a week to the provider's office, and the provider freaks out. The surgeon
And
calls.
who is doing all that work for them? Is it technology or people?
Technology.
So those three pieces of document they're asking may not be even relevant to that claim, but they are still sending it because somebody, they have either AI or some technology using.
Yeah.
And how relevant, how important those letters? I mean, do you see, is technology playing a good role, or it's just increasing our workload?
It is actually increasing the work for
At our side, at
offices.
the billing company side.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
it is increasing, but on the other side, the flip side is, if you take it again as an opportunity, the problem is there. But if you see, when we see the documents of the physicians, they lack. So we are utilizing this time to educate our practices, educate our providers to document what really they are doing. We can't be left in the assumption, oh, I did that. Just an example, a surgeon does the surgery with assistant surgeon, co-surgeon. No documentation. If I send a
Why? Okay,
letter,
so can you wait here? I want to know, these physicians have been using EMR for a long time now,
Mhm.
almost 80, 85. They know what they are doing. I can't believe that they don't know what they are doing. It comes down to the transferring the codes from their clinical notes to a claim. Is that the problem, or the doctor is using old codes
attention
or
to
old?
details. The providers, the physicians are so busy, they don't have time to give attention to details. That's the
Okay,
problem.
they're not paying attention, whether it's a left knee, right knee, those kind of coding issues or something else.
Not left knee, right knee. Of course, they know all that stuff, but just as I mentioned, the provider is having assistant surgeon, assistant provider doing the
Uh-huh.
surgery.
Uh-huh.
Just in the initial body part of the report, it will say, I use Mickey Mouse as my assistant surgeon. Now, what was the assistant surgeon doing? Did the assistant surgeon hold the just was there to assist you because you needed her help, or what the surgeon really did? Did she held the knife? Did she do stitches? What did she do the wound closure?
Oh, okay. So
Those
more
are not
detailed
documented.
notes, more detailed clinical notes. Now, are you also
Specifics are
seeing,
missing. That's
right,
what is missing.
right. I get it. Now, are you also seeing a trend where these insurance companies are also using huge manpower globally offshore to put
Yeah.
more compliant or compliance related bottlenecks for billing companies or physicians? Is that also happening?
That's surely happening, and blindly, I think we all are in a habit to just insurance request records. You just send it blindly. That's not the time anymore. Reviewing them,
What different do you do? So you said you don't just blindly respond to those requests, right?
we have to review it. Sometimes claims are paid after 2 weeks. Insurance would just spit out electronic letters, send this record, send that record. So you have to be really paying attention to why they're asking. If you see a trend, do the trend analysis. If you're finding trend and you see the insurance is on the wrong side, pick up the phone, talk to the insurance, handle the problem appropriately. We pay attention to documentation. Be specific in what you are doing. The provider would do injection of right knee but use a bilateral code. That doesn't work out. So with the ICD-10 changes, with the modifier changes, with the CPD changes, with the whole industry changing, you have to be very, very specific. Mapping of appropriate of the service that you're doing to the appropriate scores is very, very important. And documentation, again, documentation is the key. Not documented, not done.
So how about the uh, so you said is this is increasing our workload for sure. So then our cost of running business must be increasing as well, right?
um
Or
uh,
did we replicate some of the technology at our side as well, and then our cost is how's the scenario cost versus effort? Because that's very important. It's becoming very competitive, right?
It is certainly indeed getting competitive. What we have done is using the electronic version of submitting appeals. We are eliminating paper, trying to eliminate paper as much as we can do. Being efficient, efficiency is the key.
Texting, are you started using texting? I know I've been pushing you for a long time. Use text, mobile text, all of that. How does that work in your office? Tell everybody wants to know this because I mentioned it in my this that patients are sending text to us as a billing company now.
Mm-hmm.
What's your and it's all a manual process. We receive their text in our computer and our biller replies for each after investigating the whole issue, and then they reply back to the patient. How is it working? Give us your candid feedback on that.
It's beautiful. It's a good way for to work with the patients. Newer generation, yes. Older generation, they don't like text. Um, Pushing patient balances through patient portal is a good idea. Automating credit card systems is a good suggestion, I would say. But most importantly, I would like to emphasize the people, the listeners, and the viewers of this show to encourage, prepare the patient in advance before the service even takes place. Go
So
over the
their office.
benefits.
So yeah, I'm sure we all have the same problem. We try to tell our front office or practices that your front office has to do more effort, take more efforts to do more work,
Yes,
right? So for pre-eligibility checks, for referrals, for authorization, all of that needs to be done much in advance.
much.
So there is no need to rush to see the patient. They can take a week or 3 days if patient doesn't need urgent emergency
Yep,
services,
yep.
and then see make sure that all the reimbursements are intact, and if there's a patient portion, it's collected in advance, right? No,
Yeah.
that's a fantastic. Yeah, I think that
Shift the patient as a payer. Patient is the new payer, and it will
Fantastic. So
continue.
shift the patient as a payer. Okay, very good. So what do you mean by that?
The patient is the new payer, and the traction is here, and it will be here to stay. We all know the type of premiums we are paying. It increases every damn year. Every year, the premium increases to our healthcare. But our co-pays increases, our deductibles increases, our co-insurance increases. So the shift is becoming more to for the patient. Collect the balances in advance from the patients, tell them what's covered, what's not covered, so they have a chance to choose if they want to go with the service or not. Get the patient to sign a ABN. The full form of ABN is Advance Beneficiary Notice, which allows the healthcare provider to collect from the patient if services are not covered by the insurance. It includes Medicare patients too.
So do you think it's more like a communication issue between a front office and back office, which is like a billing companies, or it's just nobody is paying attention, and sometimes the front office is chaotic, or they have too much other priorities that they don't want to do it? Because some of the cases we see that they are doing it, it's either the communication is lost somewhere between them and us. How do you handle that communication part?
Doing it across the board for every patient. Every time the patient comes
No. Let's say no. This was not my question. My question is, as a billing company owner,
in,
how do you handle this communication to pass through to the front offices of physicians, that they do what they are supposed to do, and then once they are done, that communication or that process comes back to us in a seamless way, so that we don't have to go back and forth, and it just runs seamless. What do you have any suggestions? How do you handle that?
So what we do is communicate. Again, communication is the key. Like for doctors, it's documentation. For us as a billing company, it's communication and documentation both.
During the
People,
communication, so like regular meetings and then meeting
yes,
notes, something like that.
definitely, definitely.
That's what you when you do the regular weekly meetings with the office and staff, you prefer not to just talk to the doctor, you also prefer talking to the front office people.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Sharing is the key. You have to tell them what challenges you are facing. You have to give them suggestions. You have to give them solutions. If they implement, fine. If they don't implement, keep reiterating the same thing. Because
Reaffirming, just like
world has
reaffirmation.
changed. Our world has changed and will be changing. No one will give you any notice now.
Fantastic. Well, anything else you want to share before, because we are almost there, we are 22 minutes, 23 minutes. I want to keep it short so that we are done with this session and people will be watching it. But I think we talked about three things. One, you said it's becoming more challenging for billing companies to conduct business because processes are becoming stringent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not at our side, but also the physician side and payer side. So we all have to do one thing: pay attention to the details. So the letters you get, all of those things you get, you have to pay more attention. And so wisdom will play a bigger role. So I was talking to our offshore staff this morning, and some of the problems they were sharing was the same thing, that, hey, we have a lot of out-of-network appeal letters sitting there. We don't know what to do because we are not empowered by the billing company in the US, that they don't trust that if we do something, we appeal it, we will do it right. Because as you said, somebody has to pay attention to the details. So what do you think, as a billing companies here, what is the best way to utilize their remote offshore workforce? Do you have any suggestions? This will be my last question.
Yeah. It will be very important change for us to see this new surprise billing regulation. President Biden and Kamala Harris has also passed the law. So starting January 1, 2022, there will be no surprise billing for patients. If they go to the hospital for anesthesia, for out-of-network billing, there should not be surprise billing. So these
No bills. No. So
negotiations
they
and
pay
stuff
either they pay
out of the
whatever their portion is. But who will? But that's very. I mean, we had two sessions on Surprise Billing Act, and then we had a huge session at the conference in Dallas. Yeah, it's being debated across the board, so we won't debate about it. But yeah, that's something which is coming up. We all should be well aware of. And
You get 30 days only. The patient gets 30 days to appeal, and once the
Right.
patient appeals, you have only 30 days to
To
reply.
respond.
So
Right.
everything is becoming more and more
Time
time
sensitive.
constrained, time sensitive. If you lose the 30-day window, you are done.
Right. Nobody gets paid.
Nobody gets paid. So the losing side is responsible for the attorney cost. I mean, I think healthcare there's a huge shift coming.
Oh, we all are ready for that. I think all of our billing partners, billing companies, vendors, they are working very hard to cope up with all of this. And then most important thing is our physicians. We want them to be successful. We want this business of medicine going. So thank you very much for your time. It was last minute notice because I just got this up and running this morning. So thank you everybody who is watching us live and who has shared and who is going to watch it in future. Remember, HBMA is your own group. You need to come to our conferences. If you have not subscribed your membership or you have not renewed it, go ahead and do it. Our website is ready, hbma.org. In next few weeks, or next week, or probably next 2 weeks, you will hear more about our upcoming conferences. I'll keep you posted. Thank you very much. And again, have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you for having me over.